And welcome back to another episode of Psychic Evolution. I'm Jamie Clark.
And I'm Maggie Clark, and this is a podcast where you discover the psychic potential within to empower yourself and manifest your psychic and mediumship gifts. And today we are going to focus on a listener's question around mediumship. And this comes up a lot. It's a question that's asked quite frequently, so we really want to dig into it and just address all the components around this question. And here we go. This is from one of our listeners, Katie. She says, I have a question about our past loved ones visiting us. What if they've already reincarnated into another human body? Does that mean that they won't necessarily be able to show us whatever sign we ask for? So here's the question on the table. Your loved one has graduated. It is now on the other side. And that soul print, the eternal essence of who they are, is like, hey, you ready to go back and play on Earth again? We're going to go reincarnate. Maybe on Earth, maybe somewhere else. We're not really sure. But yet they're going to have another lifetime experience. So we're going to talk about all the meat of this. So we're going to address reincarnation. We're going to talk about what a soul print is. And we're going to talk about the unique expression of one lifetime, one singular energy, like little Maggie here right now, or, Katie or Jamie. And then also how we can have multiple lives and existences and maybe simultaneous lifetime experiences happening at the same time frame right here, right now. So this is all the things we're going to cover in today's podcast. So let's dig in. We're going to start first and foremost of what it means when you have a unique expression of one lifetime. And we're going to say, for instance, Grandpa. Grandpa's transitioned. He's going to be an example for this show. He's on the other side, and he's now reincarnated as another person right here on Earth. He's coming in as a little baby right now, and he's born. Does that mean we can still connect with our grandpa, even though his soul print has decided to come back here on Earth and reincarnate?
And yes, basically we are those eternal beings. And our soul print is the unique essence of who we are. As I always say, I call our souls a soul print because we're like fingerprints, unique. Nobody is the same. And in that connection, I always make the awareness that notice that in the mediumship, when we're connecting with your loved ones, they will come through. In this case, Grandpa will come through as Grandpa in this lifetime. He's not coming through as some other person in some other vehicle, because for me, this is not the only vehicle you've ever lived in. You've not always been a male or always a female. It's the versatility of oneness. And so in that capacity, your higher self, your oversoul, is the unification already attained of the I amness, meaning it's everything. So she kind of equated, because some people are like, well, if it's already attained, then what do you do? You're just on autopilot and you're not doing nothing. I'm like, well, from what she shared,
that's not the voice he uses when he talks to you, is it?
Sometimes
really,
he amuses me, I amuse myself. God. But within that, he just made it an equation to the aspect of our higher self, our oversoul, is like on top of the ball. We've already attained the awareness of it. When you go, you have 360 degrees to come back around to who you have always been. And notice the versatility of that soul print is unique. There is no guesswork. Now, I also make people aware that when I do the mediumship, that sometimes their loved ones will come to me before I even have the session. A lot of people I have never, ever met that I'm aware of in my life. And yet their loved ones know to come to me because they can see the interconnectedness of everything. And it's that kind of a unification that they can go, oh, you're going to go see that guy. Doink, we're going to go visit him and pay him attention. And in that way, that's why a lot of times when that does happen, I'll start sharing, whoever the client is, I'll start sharing what was happening before we even start the session. So it's a little bit more validating to go, well, I don't know, I've never met you before that I'm aware of. And yet your people new to come to me. And they'll usually be very accurate with giving me personalities and characteristics and what they'd say and how they would say things. And then it moves from good guesswork to maybe there's some kind of a connection and communication happening. And you are never lost and always found. And on that multidimensionality that all things are happening now, I share the fact that most of us see time as linear. Here's the past, the present, and the future. And it's really like this. Everything is happening now. You are the unification of oneness. So you can get and connect into any of those lifetimes that are all playing, that you can tap in and resurge that energy. You can blend that unification of energy and consciousness from those lifetimes into this lifetime in a particular aspect that you will live life. Because as Mag was sharing, that eternal aspect is, I always say, we live our entire life in one breath. For when we come in, we breathe in, and when we go out, we breathe out. The breath of life, that cosmic breath, is real. And when we're able to just realize that it's as easy as just breathing, you can allow yourself to live, not try to make yourself live.
So think of that soul print as all the lifetimes that you've ever had, the accumulation of every life experience, past, present, future, all coming together to create the uniqueness of your I am presence. That is what we call the eternal essence, your soul print, your soul essence. That is it. Now, when we incarnate, we have a unique expression we take on. In human lifetimes, we know what we are. We're very unique. Maggie's her very unique person. Jamie is his very unique person. We have unique energy, but we are also connected to our eternal soul print. So that soul energy is like the oversoul. It oversouls all of these unique expressions that we take in any incarnation. So when Grandpa transitions, he goes to the other side, and we're like, hey, Grandpa, I want a sign from you that you're still here with me, so please leave me a feather. And sure enough, Grandpa's going to leave you that feather. Even if he's decided to come back in another vehicle, and he's now a baby in someone's new family with his own unique expression. He's not going to be called Grandpa right now. It's not Grandpa Joe. This is now little baby darling Ellie. Okay, now Ellie has her own unique expression. Grandpa Joe has his own unique expression. Yet they are still part of the I am wholeness of the eternal soul print. So we can always connect with Grandpa Joe. His energy signature always lives. Remember, energy doesn't die. In quantum physics, energy is neither created nor destroyed. It just is. So Grandpa Joe is always going to be Grandpa Joe. But realize Grandpa Joe's eternal soul print essence is the accumulation of more than just Grandpa Joe. So Grandpa Joe's still going to be able to visit you, still going to be able to talk and communicate with you through mediumship, still going to be able to give you those signs, those connections, even though he's now little Ellie, baby Ellie, in another human incarnation right now. Like Jamie says, it's the culmination. You're on top of the ball. You're overseeing everything, every expression, every unique expression of your soul essence can be, quote unquote, different incarnations. Now, some of those are human incarnations. Some of those might be extraterrestrial incarnations. Some of those you might not even have a body or just an expression of light energy in a different dimensional field. So we want to think outside the box.
Not only that, you may have heard every once in a while that a child is born and they start having past life recollections. Hey, I was this person with this family in this lifetime, and they don't know anything. They're a young child. And then whatever that's been shared, their adults or whoever it has been have checked that out, and they found that is exactly right. The family, the names, all of that. That eternal soul that's just one breath away, man. When we can do that, that youthfulness, because we're fresh from the other side, has that unification of oneness. It is only when we get distracted, and in this life so much more, that it becomes distracting in life experiences and kind of work and all that kind of stuff. But within that reincarnation, on average, the definition is finding that soul print in another physical body. My thing is, and I'm not a doctor or a scientist, but they found that basically every 7 years, the human body is a whole new human body, about 50 trillion cells. My thing is, if every 7 years you have a whole new body, who is the constant thinker, the constant you within all of those new bodies? Your Soulprint of consciousness. And so when you're able to start grasping past life experiences and you can interact and kind of interlay them within this life without going nutso, it can literally build upon your strengths to create a faster growth of awareness in this lifetime just by pulling from your past life experiences. And when it's that clear, because these children, they're just sharing. They're like, I've never met these people and, whatever, they're in another country. They've never, to my awareness, they've never done that, and nor have the people who said that. So it's going like, well, that's kind of weird, but they wrote and recorded everything, and then they did their homework. And again, they found that those people were there. That to me is in essence a little bit of how that works. Even if they're reincarnated, they've got that connection of the past memory life recall. And notice, as I always share, the fact that Grandpa will come through as Grandpa. He's not coming through in one other lifetimes and other physical vehicles, because to me, you've not always been a male or always a female, and this is not the only body that you'll ever have. So when we can start to realize that we are multidimensional beings, it can start to really open up life for us. Because there are times for myself where I do a creative energy flow of information. And what I mean by that is I'll sit down and I'll do a meditation where I go talk to a younger me. A younger me. This is many years ago that I'm going to sit down etherically, mentally, spiritually, and connect with that me, that younger me now. What if that is what's able to happen with us and our higher selves, our future selves, our past selves? Because it is all happening now.
And remember, with reincarnation, it is quite possible to have more than one incarnation here on Earth at the same time. It happens all the time. I know there's another part of my soul essence on this planet right now. And so does that mean that they're just like me? No, they are not like me at all. One of them is actually male. And so with a completely different life purpose, a completely different job to do here. And sometimes old souls and any souls might give themselves several incarnations to make sure they get the job done, whatever it is, if it's in a specific time frame of history that they want the most impact with. Because when we're on Earth, we then have free will. Who says we're going to follow the script that our soul has written out for us? I mean, we always follow a path, for sure. We always fulfill our purpose, no matter what, just by being who we are. But we can have a lot of impact in the world with conscious awareness that we are a soul and we've come here. And there's many other aspects of our soul in maybe this same time frame, maybe this same location of the world. Who knows? And so that becoming multidimensional, Jamie, you said that exactly right. We have to think we are more than just one unique expression of our being. We are so much more because we are connected to every lifetime, every expression, every unique energy signature that we've ever taken on or tried on, like a clothing. We're the dresses, we're the suits, we're the ties, we're the eclectic ones, we're the heels, we're the flat feet. We are every article of clothing, every expression that we've ever wanted to try on. That's all of us. All of us have an eternal soul print. And when we discover this multidimensionality and we don't see it as cut and dry, like I'm alive and then I'm on the other side and that's it, and I can't be in both places, you absolutely can be. Your soul print, the oversoul, can have a multidimensional expressions in this dimensional reality, in other dimensional realities, and so on and so forth. So don't hesitate to say, whoa, I think Grandpa's soul essence reincarnated. It's okay to allow that, to support that, to be like, your soul print feels familiar to me. I think you're little baby Ellie that's coming back into our family. Absolutely. Why not? And then you can still connect with Grandpa on the other side, because all time's happening now. Grandpa doesn't go away just because he reincarnated. Still right here. So keep those connections with your loved ones. Keep them close. Grandpa's always going to help you out, always going to want to connect with you. It doesn't matter, because he's multidimensional. And because he's on the other side, he recognizes that he can be little baby Ellie as a soul print. He can be Grandpa. He could be King Tut in another lifetime. He could be anything. And so that allows us to pull in, just like Jamie's experience of meditation, working with his younger self. Well, yes, as soon as I have a past life memory, I'm incorporating into my essence right now. How can this help me here on earth? How is this a part of me? What am I gaining from remembering that experience? What wisdom am I pulling in from my soul to help me accomplish my purpose here right now? These are the questions that I take to heart when I have those memories, when I have those knowings, when I have the visions, when I have the dreams, and they're connected to either past lives, future lives, concurrent lives. It's all a part of me discovering the I am. Who are you now?
Not only that, like you can be aware of past yous, you can also be aware of future yous. Now, I shared the fact that there was a reading that I did for a lovely lady, and as we were talking with the information, she was saying, and she was fairly wealthy, millions and millions of dollars. And she's like, I'm just giving my daughter a lot of money because I'm going to be her daughter in my next life. And I thought, that's freaking brilliant. That daughter that the mother figure in this case was talking about had not had a child yet. So kind of coincidentally, it was actually a female. My point is, she was already aware of the future her, and it became the old adage, I'm my own grandpa or my own grandma or whatever the case is. And I thought that was brilliant to be able to invest in your next life to give you, because a lot of us, you got to work and you got to do your day-to-day thing. When you can have enough abundance that you don't have to worry about that, it can sometimes give you a head start and less distraction, because you already have the bills paid, everything's done and taken care of, and you're able to grow up with more comfort and realization. In those connections, I do some soul tracing, past life regressions, and it's not just this planet. When you do a past life regression, most people only do this planet. Soul tracing is the eternality of oneness. And I say that because scientifically, they've validated that humans are basically energy, vibrational light beings. And with that definition of being energy, in quantum physics, they found that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. But then I always say, but wait a minute. If that means in a very scientific, quantifiable way that we are eternal and we have always been, and yet this universe has only been here 14.8 billion years, we may not be from this universe. I'll guarantee you we're not originally from this universe. It is that kind of a unification of consciousness that there are many other universes, many other experiences to have and be had, and it's already been had. It's that kind of a connection that we already are the all that is, the I am that I am. When I'm aware of some of my past life experiences and the capacity that I was in, some of the awareness that I had, I'm able to bring that into this lifetime with the knowledge of the past, which can create the knowledge of the future, because I'm already unifying as we perceive it, the past, present, and future. Remember, time is not linear. It's straight up and down happening now. And the more that you can get those levels of consciousness, it's not higher or better or whatever. It's just more of an expanded, open receptivity, kind of like being in the ocean. Okay, all of us are a droplet in the ocean. The ocean is the droplet. The droplet is the ocean. But those droplets will be where they're at, meaning the top droplets at the top of the ocean shine with that light. If you're at this level, you shine with that light. If you're at the bottom, you have the darkness. And it's that law of equivalence. I will be no more and no less than that with which you comprehend me to be. Always perfect alignment, never making you do anything and allowing you to do everything. And for myself, that reincarnation is, you're not made to come back here. As I shared before, every time I unify with the oneness, my soul is full, like the best mood, the best meal you've ever had. And I don't have any regrets at all, because in life here, I need to learn to live with my choices, and I could have chosen this over that and whatever the case is. And so after feeling that all the time, I asked Chi, my master God, I'm like, Chi, how is it that when I unify with the oneness, I don't have all of these, I wish I coulda, I shoulda, woulda, and had all these things where I am. There's no negative aspect like I missed anything. I don't quite understand that. And he shared the fact that, well, on a quantum level, all potential experiences are happening now. All potential outcomes are happening now. It becomes the awareness of your focused thought that will bring on that quantum level that particular field of reality into your life experience. You'll be able to create new realities in a way that can suit you for what you're growing into. We don't always have to wait until we get there. Kind of like the young lady was investing in her next life, you can already be investing in yourself as the future you, just at the moment of being the now you, because the past, present, and future, again, are all happening now. What if channeling information, bringing information through, depending on if you're a trance channel or just channeling information or whatever the case is, what if that some of that information is from either a future you or a past you, giving you the gift of living in the present? Because a contributing factor so that we're not too distracted with all the stuff going on is you don't really remember where you come from or where you're going. You only know where you're at. And it gives you that moment-to-moment ability to realize we are eternal beings. And that, you know what, if I can cut myself some slack, if I can be okay to do the best that I am and best that I can at the moment with what I'm aware of, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep having fun. And it's kind of nice when we can help ourselves to soothe ourselves. Because for myself, some of my past life experiences have ebbed into this present life experience, giving me a different perspective of some of the old patterns of information to go, at least to me, it could be slightly different than what we might have perceived it to be.
Another example, just so Katie can wrap her head around this, my mentor is on the other side, and I talk to him on a daily. I connect with him, but, I have other people that connect with him that knew him here on the other side. So he can be very multidimensional and connect with more than one person here on Earth at the same time even. And then also he has an incarnation here on this Earth right now, but I still connect with him daily. So please reach out to your loved ones. Please know that even when they're ready to reincarnate, they're still connecting with us for who we knew them to be when they were here on Earth. Mediumship is just another aspect of connecting to an eternal aspect. And because we live in this linear time frame on Earth, it is really hard to wrap our heads around all time is happening now. But the more that we incorporate that knowing of quantum physics into our philosophy and into what we believe and really work with what does that mean? That means that grandpa is always grandpa. Little baby Ellie, always little baby Ellie. But the eternal soulprint, always the eternal soulprint. We can have all these different multidimensional aspects of who we are playing all the time. So wrap your head around time is an illusion. There's no past, there's no present, there's no future. Once we really, really wrap that around into our belief system and work with it, it becomes a lot more freeing to not wonder, is this just only for a short time that I can connect with my loved one on the other side until they reincarnate? No, there's no time there. There's no time here. That is completely an illusion.
Now, I share the fact that we can learn from our past and we can learn from our future in the present. And when I've done those meditations, those visuals of going back to a younger me with the books that my mom and I have written, The Adventures of Rocco and Tuki, The Kids from Mars, I was sharing those stories with the younger me. And when I came out of that particular experience of connection, I was uploaded with another book, The Next Adventure. That was huge. And this is from a younger me. But now it started making sense because for me as a young child, and when I grew up, we did not have a lot of money, and those who know me know that, because people would treat me like, oh, you don't have any money, whatever, and they'd kind of look down on me. And I always thought to myself as a child, you have no idea who I might be. be. I didn't know who the frick I was. I just had that knowingness for some reason that you don't even know me and you have no idea who I could be. And now, in my adulthood, as we perceive it, going back to a younger me gave me the insight and empowerment, the awareness of who I am as the eternal being, the past, present, and future happening now. And when we're able to find more balance, to realize we're eternal beings, we've always been, and that ancient beingness is oneness. There is no difference. It's all one and unified. And our job in doing this is one, as Mag shares with her mentor as well, 2 jobs in life: find yourself of what you are and then be what you are. That kind of a connection is brilliant because it's the essence to go, you just have to do you. Just do you. We are always growth-seeking beings. We are all interconnected. And oh yeah, I just want to share a fact that for myself, my experience fairly recently, I think you've heard the old adage, treat others as you would want to be treated, and those types of statements. And in a brief moment, I was just sitting there and instantly I became everybody I ever interacted with. I felt every single energy exchange and came right back to me with the words of, how'd you treat yourself? I'm like, oh my God, that stuff's real. I don't even know how that was possible, but just like that, I came right into my unification of oneness to go, wow, that kind of a connection is we see ourselves as separate, which is fine. But again, we're kind of like the droplets in the ocean. All of us are within the ocean of consciousness. That's why the good, bad, happy, sad is allowed to be. The darkness at the bottom of the ocean, the little droplets, are no less than the ones near the top. Do we realize it's just the law of equivalence? If you're there, you must want to be there. Great. You want to raise up in any other way to have a different light frequency? Good. I love you. You can do anything or nothing, whatever you want, because I am you. You are me. There is no time. It is the effortless ability to live, to experience, and to just be.
So remember your magnificence, remember your essence, feel into who you are as an eternal soul print of consciousness. Feel into that. Ask for that feeling of just show me my I am. It is your I am essence. It is who you are. You come in here with a very unique expression of how you're going to play out the energy dynamics of this one lifetime with different cultural experiences, different family experiences. And then you get to figure out who you are in the end. And that's really it. So remember, you are magnificent, eternal soul print. You are always growing, always expanding. And the more you know yourself, the more you will know others. The more you know yourself, the more you will see that ocean of consciousness and be able to see everyone else, all those other droplets in the ocean. It's an inward job. And when we're doing mediumship, we are connecting with our loved ones. We are connecting with spirits. And we are having those rich moments, those communications, those signs, those validations, and they are forever there for you. Always to support your journey here on earth. Always to say, hey, you're not alone. We are here with you. We're going to guide you. We're going to support you. We are going to love you through your journey. And we are one thought away. No matter what. No matter if we've reincarnated as little Ellie, we are just one thought away. So make your connections and realize those connections are for life. They're here to support you, to guide you, and to be a source of strength and to remind you of your eternal essence.
So begin to find yourself within life, and you will begin to live life more than survive and exist. And the ability to realize that we are eternal, that we have always been and will never end, that kind of a conscious recognition only interweaves our unification of oneness. All these different lifetimes are connected. And what if just once in a while in that dream state, because sometimes you might have had an oddball dream to go, oh, it feels like a different world or a different life experience or something like that. And what if that is you? What if that's an ebbing of energy information as your eternal soulprint of consciousness that is kind of flowing into this particular lifetime from one of those other lifetimes? You may not consciously be aware of it, but you are experiencing it. And I equate that kind of like as Chi was sharing the fact on the quantum level, your soulprint of consciousness is connected directly to each and every one of those potential experiences, each and every one of those potential outcomes, and you were always complete. And when I was finished talking with him, I was like, oh, God, that makes more sense, because it allowed me to get out of my own way and to give myself permission to live and not just exist. And when we can do that, the old adage to me, the meaning of life is to live. Because to me, it doesn't really matter if anyone should ever know that I even lived on this planet. The point is while I was here, I lived. It's that kind of a connection of bringing life together, that life is already together. We just see it as segmented. The more open and receptive, the more it can unify. One, we allow it to happen. We don't make it happen. It is effortless. Our work is to just be.
And remove the illusion of separation. We are not separate from our source. We are not separate from our soul. There is an illusion that there's an other side. It's right here, right now. There's an illusion that there's a distance. It's right here, right now. So when we remove the illusions of separation, of duality, of polarity, then we get to really, really sit in our eternal essence and learn how to embody that in this moment as we're here on earth. So we have our work cut out for us to really believe that, to know that, to live like that, to feel that energy every day. But you can learn how to tune yourself into it and wrap your head around it as you go and have fun on this journey in your psychic evolution, because it is all about being who you are and then making those connections and really, really allowing yourself to explore the gifts, the talents, the instant communication, the telepathic energy that we have with everyone, anyone, here or there.
In doing the mediumship, I always say I never, ever talk to the dead. There are none. As we perceive death, to me, is you die in this dimension and then you go to the other side after this. And my thing is one, everything's spiritual. Two, life is relative, because we, right now as the planet and humans, are extraterrestrials to everyone else. And aren't we right now living on the other side of where we come from before here? Doesn't that mean we must have died? Or could it just be a shift in consciousness, vibrational patterns of energy? Because in this capacity is all about comfort and love. The universe loves us so much it will allow us to do anything and not make us do anything. It's that kind of a complete acceptance. And like I've shared just for myself, when I unify, I don't have to be anything different. I'm like, for me as an eternal soul, good, bad, happy, sad, however we perceive our whole existence is completely loved and accepted for who I am right here, right now. And for some reason, when I have these unification experiences, two words drop into my mind consistently. I am. Bip. I don't have a clue, except I am the oneness. And when we can realize that we're not alone, we never have been, it is a connection of realization that we go from separation to unification and realize we are complete. And kind of like that quantum level of the completeness already, even if you're not aware of it, those life experiences, those other alternate realities are happening now, and it is being registered in your Solodex as an eternal soulprint of consciousness. So the experience of other lifetimes, this lifetime, future lifetime, past lives, are all happening now.
So thank you for tuning in today to Psychic Evolution. If you want to explore more and develop more your psychic gifts, your mediumship gifts, please join us in our monthly training sessions. It's the second Monday of every month. We also have a mystery school where we have classes. Whenever there's live classes, you can join those, and then all the classes are recorded and put onto the mystery school. Included in the mystery school are monthly meditations, and also we have Q&As every other month. So feel free to join us there. There's a link in the show notes for you. Have fun making your connections. Go talk to your loved ones. Get nourished in their soul essence. They love you. We love you, and have fun with your evolution.
be true to yourself and live life.